Hello, everybody, and welcome to another My Music with me, Graham Cofe. And I'm joined for the second time by Danny, all the way from Australia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Graham? It's good to
I'm
see you
not too
again.
bad at all, my friend. Not too bad at all. Now, we're going to
Amazing.
talk about what you've been up to since I last spoke to you, your new single with its fabulous you playing live on stage, and then little montages back and forwards to musicians in a studio. We'll talk about all of that, but after this little break. So people out there, you've just got to stay watching this for 20 odd seconds. See if you can spot the cat in this video.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
Whoa, there
I
we
saw
go.
the cat.
I love the cat. Well, you've got a koala.
Yes, I got koalas here.
That's the thing. This is your little for people that haven't met Danny before. This is your little booth where you do your little broadcasting from
My
with
little
your
vintage telephone.
Now, Danny, come on, you're not actually old enough to remember telephones like that.
I don't know if it works. I think it does, but yeah, I've never used it.
Yeah,
Just a prop.
Do you know what you were missing out on in not having a part of your life where you had telephones like that?
Yeah, I've never had.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I think it taught us all patience.
Oh, okay.
Right, because those things are really, really difficult to dial a number on these days. I mean, okay, I'm gonna just give me 2 seconds on this. In my lifetime, I had those as telephones, and then we swapped to like ones where you picked up and then you hit actual buttons.
Yep.
And then even with like first mobile phones, they had physical buttons on them which you had to dial, right? And so misdialing, which people still talk about, oh, I misdialed you, but what they actually mean is they just hit the wrong contact, or they, they phone you, or they phone someone because they pocket dial because they put them in the pocket, and as they put them in their pocket, it sort of like dials the last number, whatever. But actual misdialing happened all the time, and on phones like that, because you had to like put your finger in and go all the way around, and then in and all the way around, and then in and all the way around, and the numbers were really long as well. It could take 20 odd minutes just to dial someone.
Goodness.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Because you get it wrong several times, and if you were cognitively challenged, so it's cognitive processing challenged because you've got like dyslexia or dyscalculia or something like that, it take even longer because you couldn't actually hold the number in your memory. So you'd get to like number 3, and then you go, oh, was that 3 that I just dialed, or was that 2, or I'll have to start again.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Right.
I want one of these days, folks. I want all the hours that I lost trying to dial people back. If you can get that for me, that would be great. What have you been up to since I last spoke to you? Been busy.
Well, I've been, since I last spoke to you, was it the timing was on, or you got me thinking of you? I can't even remember.
You've always
which single it was.
Of you, Danny.
Oh wow, that was ages ago. Okay, so a year ago, last September, I released Danny's Diamonds. The first track was "You Got Me Thinking of You," and then the timing was on Valentine's Day. And then recently, I just released on my birthday, November 6th. I was "Rock and Roll in My Soul." And
21, Danny.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you. And it was a really great release, and we released the music video like a couple of days before that. And since I last saw you, I've been to Nashville a couple of times. I was in the Elvira video with the Oak Ridge Boys, and Kid Rock turned up to the shoot and was in it.
Wow, what was that like? You got to speak to Kid Rock?
Yeah, I did get to actually, speak with him.
Yeah.
And he was really cool. Like, he looks exactly like he does in the magazines. You know, he
Was he
hasn't
wearing
even
furs and stuff like that? What was he wearing? What was his,
the
you know?
exact outfit, you know, that he's known for, with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
hat, with the leather jacket, with the whole thing. Yeah,
Yeah, the
he looked
whole,
exactly like I remember, even as a kid.
yeah. That's so cool.
So
Did you
yeah,
speak to, did you manage to try and get him onto a future music project? Did you
I didn't ask him, but he's really good friends with William Lee Golden, who I just did a duet with, and they're really good
Let's
mates.
make it happen then.
Yeah, I should actually. We'll see. Yeah.
You don't
I'm not
ask,
that
you don't
pushy
get.
sometimes.
You don't ask, you don't get. Right? It's very true.
That's true. Yeah. So I got to go on the tour bus with William Lee Golden and the Oak Ridge Boys, and it was like a beautiful black with their big banner on it, and we rocked up to Broadway Street, and I came out of the tour bus and everyone knew who they were, the Oak Ridge Boys. So like, it was a really fun day. And then we went to like the second story of one of those bars owned by a country music star, and that's where they had the whole music video, and they picked me and 3 other like up and coming artists to sing. Like, it was like a fake karaoke bar kind of thing, and then we sang for the Oak Ridge Boys, and then all these like country music legends would pop in at the bar. Like, I think Big and Rich were behind serving drinks, and then you had Kid Rock there like dancing, and it was a really fun video. It's on my website as well. But and then I went back to Nashville. Like, I was there for the Josie Music Awards at the Grand Ole Opry, and then I went back to do a whole week of press with television and radio in Nashville a couple of weeks ago. So that was really fun as well, and the new duet.
Yeah, I see you've had a few clips of that going around on your Instagram, etc. Yeah, no, that's really good.
That's it. There was a radio show at the Opry called the Coffee, Cody and Country, and they actually have the wood from the center, the circle of the Opry, and they use it at this other area of there where they do the radio station. And I'm sitting there with William, and he drove us to all of the interviews. It was really fun.
So does Nashville feel like a second home to you now?
Yeah, it has always felt like that. Like, I've been going since for a couple of years. I went when I was fresh out of high school. I went with my parents, and I've always had a bit of a soul connection to that city, and it's grown a lot. I didn't expect it. I mean, even the airport now has Uber and Lyft stations. I was like, oh my gosh, this is Nashville. Like,
yeah,
I remember Nashville when it was like such a small town that, you know, hi, you want to come to a barbecue? Hey, you want to come to this? Like, it feels much bigger now. And I think because everybody from LA and New York moved there in the pandemic. So it's like all the construction, they actually have traffic now.
I was looking up as I was speaking to you because recently we had another singer-songwriter on from the Nashville area, and here she is.
Oh, wow.
And Buckle came on, and while she was speaking to me, because she lives there, we were looking out of her window, and you could see this, you know, all of the skyscrapers in Nashville and whatever. And it's like, I said, you know, the thing is that we still portray Nashville on a lot of English television as the way it used to be. And it's quite a shock, I think, for a lot of English people if they actually then see what Nashville looks like today. But I think but that's interesting. You should say that, because it's obviously a shock for Americans as well.
Noticed a difference big time with the city.
Absolutely.
Like,
but I think it goes the other way around. When I was talking to Anne, it was interesting because I think the way that some Americans think of some bits of England is quite different from what they find when they come over here. So
I spent some time in England as well. I did some shows over there, and that was really fun. I went to Cleethorpes, Durham, London, Notting Hill. It was, you know.
And were any of those bits of England different from what you expected?
I love your transportation system, the tube.
Right.
You know,
in London.
I thought that was fantastic. You just get on the tube and you can just stop everywhere and get off, and for a tourist, like it's
Yeah,
a
it's
really
cool, isn't
good
it?
system. I loved Notting Hill because of the movie, you know. So it
Mm.
was like all these little memories and all these cute little bookshops and flower shops, and I was like, this is like the movies of England, you know, British, and we saw some of the, just really a really really cute city. I love London.
I'm expecting a song from you now, Danny. I'm expecting a song called Mind the Gap.
Yes. And
Right?
I mean we do, oh yeah, Mind the Gap. We do have a lot of English people out there in Perth, Australia. So I've heard the accent a whole bunch growing up. But I really do love the British accent. I mean, it really is one of my favorites. And I just think it's so posh, you know?
Well, it depends. I was going to say, because I'm not sure there is an English accent,
Okay.
right? Yeah. I mean, and I think a lot of people in England would debate that as well, because there's obviously sort of like home counties type of accent, or you know, which kind of a more posh English accent, you know, and then of course there's a bit more London in it, right?
Oh yeah.
But obviously, as you travel around the country, I mean, you said you went to Durham, you know, and up north it'd be like, "Way I get canny man," like, you know,
Yes.
and so it changes an awful lot
Different
as you get.
dialects. Yeah.
Really quite
Liverpool is
different.
Yeah.
Liverpool, yes. You know, but it does. I'm sorry to anyone from any of those places. I'm not great at accents, but it's really quite different around the country, as it is in America and
really
Australia and whatever
got
as well.
some cute accents out here.
Yeah. Are there many actually? How many sort of different dialect type accents are there in Australia? Is there? What's the biggest difference? Where would be like the strongest differential accent?
I would say, I feel like if you're from Queensland, they have the slightly stronger up there. But like sometimes I can kind of hear a difference between people from Melbourne and Sydney compared to Perth people even. But I think it's really like your upbringing as well. Like some people have a really strong like Australian accent, you know, especially, I don't know. I can hear it on some guys stronger than the others. But I think that's just like maybe how your parents talked before you. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it is. But I don't feel like I have a particularly like strong Australian accent. Like if you look at Steve Irwin or like, you know, they're from more Brisbane. That's where the Australian Zoo is. I feel like that's quite a strong accent. So I think we have actually English influences in Perth, so we kind of are leaning a little bit more British. That's what I've heard.
I totally agree. Right, now listen, let's focus in on the song for a minute. Let's focus in on the music for a minute. It's a really good feel song.
Thank
really,
you.
at the end of the
Yeah,
day,
it's a fun one.
It is a fun one. Tell me, what does rock and roll mean to you?
Well, you know, I grew up on Peter Frampton and Led Zeppelin and a lot of Stevie Ray Vaughan. But like the Rolling Stones were quite an influence in this song, and Chicago with the horns. But you know, all those riffs from the 70s and my dad's old collection definitely heavily influenced me, rock and roll and blues, and that is more evident in this original song. It's the first time I put a brass section on my music. I've done strings and things before, but I co-produced it and engineered it at my home studio, and it was it was the longest track to make on the album because of the horn section that nearly drove me crazy, like trying to do it all.
Yeah.
And but it's such a fun song, like especially to end my show with, because it's so upbeat and gets people on the dance floor. So that's what I like about it.
Yeah, and for me, there's a sort of element of. I mean, you're taking it a long way back with people like the Rolling Stones, and I can certainly get that in there as well. But especially with like the sort of live cut and the energy on the stage, and then going to the studio. That for me is really quite reminiscent of sort of Springsteen as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, I love Springsteen.
It's
Yeah,
got
it's
that,
definitely got that New Orleans soul, like undertone Motown to it. Yeah, my co-producer has worked with like Stevie Wonder and Wilson Phillips and a lot of like an Indiari, a lot of soul artists, so that could have been an influence in there too.
yeah,
For sure.
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, and sort of the sort of move between the color and the black and white. That was a very
Yes.
definite choice as well in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it
Yeah.
just looks, I like it like that. Yeah,
I like
gave it some variation from the color. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot. Favorite songs that kind of mention rock and roll now?
I think there's a Bob Seger song.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm sure there's a Rolling Stones song with rock and roll in it.
Yeah.
Is
I'm
there?
going to get. Do you know what? I'm going to give you one
Okay.
that's really very different because it's not
I love
rock and roll.
for another dime in the
I
jukebox.
love rock and roll. Yeah. That's a
And
great
I think
song.
Britney Spears does it too.
Yes, she does. She does a
Yeah.
version of that. That's absolutely true. So I'm going to give you a song with rock and roll in the title, which is totally not rock and roll,
Okay.
right? Which
Yep.
is The King of Rock and Roll by Prefab Sprout. Have you ever heard of that?
I've never heard of that.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley
I was
does.
going to say, oh, yeah. Of course. Elvis.
How could I
Absolutely
forget
Elvis.
that? He's my favorite.
Well, and actually, you mentioned Led Zeppelin. Been a
Yep.
long time since the rock and roll.
Yep.
There you go. You see.
There we go. Yeah, there is some. There's probably a lot.
Oh. What's your favorite Led Zeppelin album? Just out of interest. There you go.
Zeppelin 3 with the Bronway on Stomp and Gallows Pole, and there was a whole bunch of other.
Well, as they
Yeah,
sort of
like the
transitioned sort of out of the more bluesy feel at the
Yeah.
sort of like early folky bluesy feel
Yeah.
into a bit more.
It's like almost like 12-string guitars and open G tuning and like different things like that. But I obviously love Black Dog and all of those earlier riffs in those. I think it was probably the Zeppelin, their greatest hits, you know. But there's something about that Zeppelin 3 record that like amazed me.
There's a lot of good chugging in there. Do you know what I mean by chugging? It's when you get the guitar to sort of like
Yes. Yeah.
There's a lot of that in there.
There's a lot of
There's a
rhythm.
train coming.
Yes.
Do you often think about like, you know, when you think of like that sort of rock and roll and whatever, do you often think about sort of like vehicles? Do you know what I mean? Either like a train or a car or
I think it's like a motorcycle, like
or
driving on the
motorcycle.
back of a
Yeah.
motorcycle.
Get
like,
your motor running.
Yeah.
Get out on the highway.
Like bad to the bone, you know. Bad to the bone. That kind of vibe, you know.
Or road trip. It's something to do with a road trip.
Yeah.
It's definitely that element in there, which I think is great fun. Folks, you can play along at home if you've got your favorite road trip song.
Yeah, it's kind of
Bring
like
it all
12-bar
together.
blues, you know.
Yeah. Do you ever do you know what a lot of those songs, a lot of those classic songs, rock and roll songs with that kind of guitar element and the brass element, of course, ended up in fantastic adverts for things like Levi's jeans and other jeans are available. Would you like to see your one of your songs, this song in particular, maybe getting into an advert for something? Would it be jeans? Would that be good?
I do.
You could have 3 jeans for the rest of your lives.
Yeah, I wouldn't say no to that. I love jeans. Blue jeans. It has it in the song. I love the way I wear my blue jeans.
Exactly. So that lyric, right? If you're working with Danny's team at the moment, you need to be sending that part of the song to some jeans manufacturers.
Oh yeah.
To get that into an advert.
Levi's or Lee's jeans. I wear a Lee's and different. I wear all different
Wranglers. Levi's, doesn't matter. Just get it in there. That'd
Yeah.
be great, wouldn't it?
Or in a movie. Some of my
Yeah.
songs for movies and film as well.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to get you like free clothing for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah, free jeans.
Imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that would be good. You could have your own, like people have custom guitars. You could have
Yeah.
custom jeans. Danni
Yes,
jeans.
with little koala, like a little koala in the pocket or something.
Whoa. Yeah. You could even you could have that as merch at
Yes.
live events as well.
Right, in different sizes.
Yeah. Everybody wears a pair of Danni jeans.
Love
Danni
it.
jeans. They're so cool. I just love that. You could
I got this little hat that I found at a thrift shop that is made of jeans, and it's really cute. So I could do some hats with jean material.
Do you do t-shirts? Do you have merchandise t-shirts already?
I did at one stage, but at the moment I don't have any on me. I've just got like CDs and posters and things like that.
I think
koalas.
yeah, but you see the thing is that you could bring back the merchandise t-shirts to go with the jeans.
Oh yeah.
Which would be
Nothing wrong with a
great.
white t-shirt with a logo. Yeah.
You end up with your own clothing range,
I love it.
which would be good. What comes next for you, Danni? What's kind of I mean, obviously we've got Christmas around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving over here.
Yeah.
Do they celebrate Thanksgiving out there?
No.
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 Okay.
No, we okay, so what we have at the end of the summer going into the autumn period and into winter, we have something called harvest. So the traditional, and it's like a church festival, would be Harvest Festival, where they celebrate bringing in the harvest, which is probably the closest thing that we've got to Thanksgiving, really.
Is that like in your autumn? Your fall?
Yeah,
time?
but it's not like widely necessarily culturally, not like Thanksgiving in America's a much bigger thing. But yeah, of course, we start, I don't know what it's like in America, but we start getting stupid about Christmas from about end of August onwards.
Whoa.
Yeah. Really? All the shops, as soon as we've had kind of Easter.
Wow.
And the Easter eggs clear out the shop, they start bringing in the mince pies and the whatever, and and the boxes of chocolate.
That's so early.
Oh, it's so early, and every year it seems to get earlier and earlier, and every year in the UK people complain about it and go, oh, for goodness sake, can't they wait a bit before Christmas? But you know, the shops know that we're just dig it, so they go for it. What do you do at Christmas? Is it a big family thing for you? Is it a...
Yeah, well, actually, we have a summertime Christmas in Perth. So it's usually by the beach. We go play some cricket. We have people over for a barbecue. Lots of seafood.
I love that.
Lots of fruit. Lots of pavlova. The guys like the beer. The girls, you know, just chitter chatter under the Christmas tree and outside by the pool. It's a fun time, but it's a totally different Christmas to America.
Of course it is. But so now listen, has anyone? I'm not sure, and I feel kind of inadequate for not knowing this. But if anyone's listening and can tell us, that would be great. Has anyone ever written a song about summertime Christmas? Then that could be next on your list.
Yeah, I was going to write a song about the Australian Christmas, about what it's like down under. But I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
No? Summertime Christmas. It's got a ring to it, though, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Summertime Christmas. I just think it could be good. It could be a big hit.
I love it.
Maybe it'll cheer us all up in the colder part of the world.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
And actually, let's face it, especially in the UK, Christmas in the last few years has never been, you have all of those songs about white Christmas.
Yes.
I'm dreaming of a white. Well, we never get white Christmases anymore. What we get is damp, horrible, grey, miserable Christmases mainly. So I think a song about a summertime Christmas, could be really good for you. It could probably be promoted by the Australian Tourist Board, who could get people to fly over to Australia for their Christmas
Yeah.
to get
Get
that
out of
summer
the
sun.
cold.
Yeah.
Right.
I could see that working.
Yeah.
There you go. No, I'm not telling you what to write, by the way. I'm just thinking. I'm just, have these ideas,
Yeah.
and I share them as you go.
Oh, thank you for sharing.
What are you what's the next big challenge for you? What are you thinking, like, in 2025? This is the thing that I really want to.
I've got about 30 dates planned out here in the California desert. I've got a lot of shows
Wow.
and tour booked. Yeah, so that's coming ahead of me. I've got a lot more music to release of Danni's Diamonds, and I want to write more songs, and I want to just enjoy my time out here and see what happens. And the Palm Springs area and all that, this place is growing. It's a fantastic place to live, and so I'm excited to bring more music to the area that I'm in, and maybe get back to Nashville. You never know. So that's the plan. It's very hard to plan in the music business. Like, you just got to kind of take opportunities and
As they come.
Yourself out there, yeah.
Yes,
it's like, I really don't know how to tell you what's next. I don't know.
I love that. I have no plan other than to just go with the flow, because that's the way to make it work. Yeah. Brilliant. Listen, it's been, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Look how quickly time just flies when you're speaking to someone that's so joyful and wonderful like you are.
Thank you, Graham. It's always nice to come on that show.
Are we going to have any more music released from you before the end of the year, or is this it now for until next year?
I think the last single of the year, but you never know, because people are releasing Christmas songs in December, so might wait till January. Yeah,
I would,
and stay on this single for a little bit longer. Yeah.
Okay. Well, folks, listen. Do support Danni by going and finding her music and adding the song to your playlist. If you want a little bit of rock and roll, add it to your playlist. That's the way to support artists. Get it on as many playlists as possible. We'd like to see a campaign starting to get Danni's song in a advert for a pair of jeans. So if you're a jeans manufacturer, if you're a jeans manufacturer out there, do get in touch. Danni's available on all good platforms.
I need more pairs of jeans because mine are kind of short on me. So,
do you know what? I think you're going to get fans just send you them anyway now. Yeah,
I hope so.
There you go. Well, let's make that happen. That would be marvelous. If next time you come back, you'll tell me about all of this marvelous deal that you've done with Levi's or other jeans manufacturers are available, and we can have a chat about that. Danni, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for having me. It's great to see you.
It's been the wonderful Danni Stefanetti. She's a fantastic artist, as are all of the artists that come on the wonderful My Music. If you've enjoyed this, please do go and share this with your friends and your family now, and we hope to see you again soon. Until next time,